your screen from now so that you can follow my tempo. How to make it full screen? Which button?
F5.
5.
Right? No? No. That's a PT.
Make it a full screen.
Try F5. 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 有吗
No?
No?
Doesn't work. Well, it doesn't matter. Today we are going to talk about references and quotations. It's a very essential part in academic writing. Why use reference? There are 3 main reasons. Because you need to show that you have read a lot of articles, you have read a lot of books, you read a lot of journals. You have to show that. Show that to your readers. You read something, so you do this research for your own reason. And then, please look at the second bullet. It allows the reader to find the source. If you read something, then you persuade your reader this source are worth readable, worth to be cited or quoted in your paper. Perhaps your reader would like to know what kind of, where the articles or the books are from. So you need to give them the reference. And the most important thing of all is to avoid plagiarism. Plagiarism means cheating, copying from anything. Copy means that's not your things. You copy from others. In order to avoid this kind of cheating in academic area, you need to quote, you need to cite, you need to do whatever you do to have something to support you, okay? So that's why we need to learn how to write references and the quotation. I really need to download this to make it. Can I download this? Okay. It's better to be this way. So please look at this passage. Smith, 2005, argues that the popularity of the sports utility vehicle, that's SUV, is irrational, as despite their high cost, most are never driven off-road. In his view, they are bad for road safety, the environment, and the road congestion. Okay. So according to this passage, can you tell me, is it a citation or is it a reference? This passage. Or should I put it this way? Where are the references? Where are the citations? You don't have any experience writing the paper? References. No, that's the short. Reference is 2009 is the first reference in this passage. And the second, in the end of this passage. But why they are different? In the beginning of this passage, the surname Smith is not included in the reference, but in the end of this passage, it's included. And there's a number here, 37. What's that mean? What does this mean? 37. Page number, yes. Now why the surname is included in the end, but not included in the beginning? Why? Yes, it's direct quote. It's direct quote. You see a quotation mark here? Here? It's direct quote, so you need to put page number here and a surname. And if it's not a direct quote, you don't need to do so. So that's the difference. So I make it a table for you to do citations. If you look at table, when you give citations, a quotation means there's the quotation mark around the passage that you quote. Then you put author's name, date of publication, page number. But if it's a summary, it's a kind of citation, but it's not direct quote. You have to put the author's name and date of publication, as shown in the screen. That's the way we do things. Okay. And when we do citation, but not direct quote, sometimes we use the verbs like somebody argues that, somebody claimed that. I have made a list of verbs for you to take a look at. To take a look at it. Please pass the handouts around. Pass the handouts around.
Is there a rule for every book or journal? Because I never saw it.
Really? That's how we do things.
Yeah, it's different. So it's a general rule.
Yes, it's a general rule.
Okay, please teach us.
Now, please circle or check the verb that you know without looking up in the dictionary. Check the words you know or circle it. Just quickly go through this list. Just check the list of the verb. You don't need to look at the example. You should check the verb.
You know what you are doing? Check which you already know, right?
Yes.
You need to check. You know this word or not? call it if you know it or not. Any. Yeah, to focus up.
If you
You
know
heard
the
this
words,
before?
just circle
Yes.
it or check it.
To hold. Yeah, you know it or not. Let's see how many content verbs you already knew. Maybe you can see the example, you don't know much. The example there, and you will know the meaning.
Okay. These verbs are academic verbs. That means we use this kind of verbs a lot or very frequently in writing a paper. They are quite formal. They are all quite formal. 他们不是很口语，他们都是很正式。So, if you just know part of them, some of them, you can check them out when you go home. Okay, but this is just for your reference. That means you can use it when you write reference. Please look at the second bullet. These verbs can be either in the present or in the past tense. Well, tense is a question for us. It's a headache for us. Normally, when you use the present tense, that suggests the source is recent and still valid. Or you can say the author is still alive. While the past indicates the source is older and may be out of date. And there are no hard or fast distinction. In some disciplines, an old source may still have validity. So, from this passage, tell you when to use the present tense, when to use the past tense. But this passage implies which tense should we use in writing a paper? Which is preferred? Past or the present? Of course, present, because we want to use valid source, right? We don't want our source to be out of date. So normally when we quote, we will say somebody argued, somebody said it, somebody indicated, somebody focused on in present tense. So if you look at the red verbs here, Smith, 2009, argues that it's present tense. But this guy, I don't know how to pronounce his family name properly. I think it's a Russian. Well, 1972. So you can see the reason why claimed is used in the past tense, right? Because his reference may be out of date. Okay? Use quotations brings the original word of the original words of writing to your work, and it's effective. But the most important thing of all, please look at line 3. Must not be overused. You cannot quote from others from the beginning of the end in your paper, right? So when do we need to use quotation? I think there are 3 reasons, but the second reason is the most important of all. When the original is more concise than your summary. Then means when the original is written better than you were writing. then you quote. And the third, I don't know whether you have some masters in your area. So when you quote the master saying, you have to use quotation. You cannot change a word of his saying. In my field, translation studies, we do have masters say something. We cannot change a word of it. So we use quotation. Do you have masters in your field? Yes. So in that case, don't change a bit of his saying. Okay. So when we use quotations, we have to write it this way. That's the structure of writing a quotation. Okay. First, you have an introductory phase. This view is widely shared, or his result is greatly approved, as somebody said, and then you use the reference verb as in your list. Then you quote a saying, and then you cite. Is that clear? Because you are going to write a quotation. Is that clear? Use this. We have a paper here, right? I will ask you to use this to write a quotation. I will ask you which sentence to quote. Could you sit next to each other so that you can share the paper? Move. I'm giving back your screen so that you can write. Okay, let's move back to this one. This one. Okay, we are here. We are here. We are here. We are in slide 7. Please insert a new slide here. Okay, write down your name. You are going to write a quotation exactly in the structure like this. Okay? You can't?
Yeah.
But I have shared this with you. What should I do?
那个知道连接的使用者都可以检视，对，要编辑。
哎？It turned it off. Oh my gosh. Okay. I have to turn on the computer again. That's okay. Because you are going to share this paper. Okay. See, this is 2018. 2018. Could you take out this paper? Low cost full band waveguide. You have the author, right? You have the page number, right? You are going to quote the conclusion. Usually that's where we quote because we want to know the result. So return to the conclusion. Use a pen to mark this sentence. Okay, from the bottom of this paragraph, that's in lines 8 from the bottom of this paragraph, the proposed technology was demonstrated at an unprecedented low cost and short fabrication time for the rectangular waveguide-based microwave devices. Okay, quote this. Do you find the passage? Do you find the sentence in the middle? Fine. This is fine. Okay. Then use the table to write a quotation. You don't, of course you cannot. A sentence. You cannot write exactly as the table shows. You have to change some word in that structure. When I fixing the problem, you can think what you can write. Okay. So if it's not important to quote someone, then maybe we can move to the next stage.
Different field.
Yeah, totally different. So we are not going to write a quotation because in your field there's nothing to be quoted. Well, then do you use summary?
Yes, summary from others.
Summary from others.
I think maybe in different way, but yeah, different types.
Different ways of writing the summary.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then let's show whether you have this kind of writing. I will take over your screen. It's better to look at it this way. Okay, that's a passage. But you don't need to read every word of it. It's just a passage. And summary. Here is a summary. Someone write a summary here, but we are not going to read it now. Please look at the red word. That is what shows in the summary. Hoffman stresses the critical importance of mobile phones. Mobile phones in the developing world. That's in the passage. In the growth of a small business, in developing a small business. So what do you find? What's the summary about? How to write a summary? Summary means you pick up the important words. You don't need to write every word in your own word, but you pick up the important words from the original passage. Okay, so in this passage we have important words like mobile phones. Sorry, I did not highlight this. The developing words and a business. So you put these three key information in the summary. So you have mobile phones in the developing words in the small business. So what do you need to write? You need to write stress, critical importance. You need to write these three things. So what these three things is about? First, it's the verb again. You have to pick up a verb that is not the verb that original had show the verb. And then you have to sort of bring the information up to your reader. Okay, so you just combine your saying with what the author said. That's the things we write in the summary. So we can try to write a summary in your field. Okay. Just look at the conclusion. That conclusion is a little bit long, so let's move to the other paper. It's shorter, only 6 lines. Okay, use this. Then you use your pen to pick up the keywords in that 6 lines. And then you are going to put them together.
Yeah, this one.
And I'm going to give you a screen back. I have changed the setting to anyone who knows this thing can edit the content. And then you move to the slide like I just asked you to do. Slide 8, put down your name. And type the key information in this slide. Try if you can do it now.
Can you explain what is innovation?
Sorry?
Can you explain what does it mean, innovation? You say you want them to write down innovation.
Key information.
Oh, key information.
Key information. Yeah, from the article.
Didn't bring.
I can show. Slide 8. Insert a new slide. In slide 8. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, put on your name. Slide
Want
8.
them write down a
Can you edit it now?
sentence, or is keyword okay, or you need a sentence?
They just put the key information together and then I will
Make
help
a
them to
sentence.
make a sentence.
Okay, so put the keywords first.
Excuse me. Can you help them to